now hit. This is the Miracle Makers PowerPoint Transform Your Energy Body for Success. What we're going to cover is a lot of what is in this screen. I've got years of wisdom, years of ancient living wisdom that I want to bestow upon you in a manner that helps you be able to utilize the technology that's in your head, the technology that's in your body, the way that your heart works, and the way that we create reality together, and for you to understand your consciousness. We're going to go through as much of this as possible, and we're going to chime in and be able to answer your questions. When I keep saying we, I mean myself and all of the different ways that information comes to me. And I have within my body, my thoughts, my hearts, my emotion, my DNA, all initiated in order to serve you. And on top of that, I've got the genetics, the DNA of my parents, the love, and what they've taught me and what they've shared with me is quite incredible. I am not that kind of doctor. I went on to get degrees because I love the energy, the study of this. I love being able to convey and understand and share what only I realized later that only I saw. It wasn't until med school that I realized that not everyone sees and experiences thoughts, energy, and emotion the way that I do. I thought everyone saw densities around people's organs and around their body. I thought before I went to med school that everyone could see the thoughts that other people were having and be able to shift them into higher and higher frequencies. I also thought that everyone understood the rainbow of emotions and how they affect our organs. I didn't realize how special that was to be able to see that. And I believe that everyone has that ability because I've taught so many people now how to experience what I know for themselves, how to really construct the fabric around the environment that's happening. So let me say that another way. I thought everyone could shift and make miracles happen based on their thoughts, based on their hearts, based on their emotions. And I really, really want to really emphasize that medical education and anyone who's working with a doctor, a medical doctor, it's really important to be with your doctor, listen to your doctor, and bring in these thoughts, your emotions, your heart, what you know for yourself. Not all doctors see this formula yet. And what I mean by formula, most doctors believe that stress causes dis-ease in the body. It's scientifically proven, it's shown. Loneliness, failure, these rough emotions create a decrease in our immune system. They create an increase in our likelihood of dying of an early death. They create blood pressure rises, and environmental factors are less important than our thoughts. This is now recognized by the scientific community. And we are going so deep into research around the pineal gland. It's quite extraordinary what we have learned about this region of your brain in the last 20 years. And many of the doctors that I highly recommend clients to and friends to is and are on the same page. And so I really want to emphasize again, I am not the kind of doctor that my sister is. I'm a different kind of doctor, and I am an ordained interfaith minister. Part of the reason that I went in and studied medical school, then went in and learned neurolinguistic programming with the Holman Group. I learned emotional freedom technique with oh my gosh, some very amazing teachers. I've gone on to research and learn the work of Greg Braden, the work of Bruce Lipton, the work of Nassim Haramein. All of this, it helps me be able to communicate with you better how to initiate and activate your pineal gland, how your thoughts, your heart, your emotions, and your DNA are creating what is happening around you. I love Heart Math Institute and what happens there. Again, this talk is about transforming your energy body for success. Success is all up to you, and success happens when you have faith, is what I learned. And I went on to really dive into all of the different mystery school teachings. I was born in Pakistan. I'm born of, my parents were and are Muslim Islamic faith. I went on because I had such an extreme upbringing. Um, like my mom, I was married at a very young age. I'm going to go back up to my mom's picture for a second. I was married at a very young age to a man that was much older than myself in an arranged marriage. And in that time frame, I was left for dead in an honor killing, which really translates into honor is more important in that value system than life. And it's something that I am utterly grateful that I had that experience. And I wanted to make sense of the experience because in the near death experience, I got a full on understanding of energy. I got and understood that I chose the path that I was on with all of the arranged marriage, all of what I experienced as a child. And today, I recognize much of the things that occur in my daily life I had seen and chose again when I chose to stay in this body, to return back to this form. And I'm so excited to be able to share that information with you on a different PowerPoint or at a different time of what it's like to be in a near-death experience and what it's like to have access to senses and then know how to use them while you're alive. That's what the transform your life for transform your energy body for success is about for me. I don't want anyone else to experience suffering based on a belief system or a faith that isn't connected to everything is energy and connected to understanding the faith and understanding that in each of the faiths is the possibility of miracles outlined in those texts. I went to Catholic school and I developed, my husband showing me something. I have a renewed focus of what it means to fully love myself. Yesterday, I had an epiphany regarding how much I'm not enough and I don't have enough. Life isn't enough. Is the filter I have running. I know this is a cultural as well. I want to love myself, be in love with myself. How to value and love myself. Thank you, Suzanne, for asking that question. And within every faith, within every one of these is a formula for how to love yourself. So I went to Catholic school. I took all the catechism classes that I could, and I even got to give communion in Mother Mary's church. And part of that wisdom really talks about loving yourself as love yourself as thy neighbor. Actually, it was something that Greg and I were talking about yesterday was and there's a reference to it that says something to the effect of, above all the other commandments, love thy neighbor as thyself. And so when I started listening to my inner voice and how I was talking to myself, I realized, oh my God, I say the meanest things to myself. Those mean things. Then at one point I learned that I would judge myself for saying those mean things, and then I would go into deeper despair. And it's really important. Greg's pointing out stop sharing. And so I'm going to go back to my face for a second, and then we'll go back to the PowerPoint. And so let's see if it allows me to do that. So as we're talking, so I'm here, I have to turn my screen back on. Hello. As I learned to listen to my voice, and as I learned not to judge myself for that voice and for the words that I was saying to myself, as I learned to be okay with if anger showed up, or if loneliness showed up, or if helplessness showed up, whatever emotion showed up, I had to be okay with it. In my near-death experience and being left for dead, I was literally discarded as garbage. And I experienced that within my family to some degree as well. And being like thrown out like garbage because you're not bringing honor was very, very much an honor system. And and so my inner voice, my inner thoughts, the way that I showed up in the world was really lovely to my neighbor and really loving. But then when I came home to the voices in my head, I was really, really hard on myself. And today, I'm not hard on myself. I say things like, you're forgiven before you do anything. I say to myself, I love you. You're doing the best you can. And when I look at other people and I say, wow, isn't she beautiful? I well, touch my heart and I say, wow, if that beauty, I have to have the eyes to see that beauty. And I'm so grateful that whatever I have seen has come into my experience rather than judging myself and saying, I'm not that somehow, or whether it's an elevated thought or a lower thought. So I might see one of my friends like Lisa Haisha, who's incredible to me. I really, really honor the work that she's doing in the world. Sue Wong, a fashion designer, the work that she's doing in the world. Ricky Byers Beckwith. And if I were to compare myself to them, I would not necessarily feel great in the past, I would say, gosh, you should be doing more. You should be at the orphanages like Lisa, or have taken pictures and shared all the babies. I delivered 300 babies in a field. And if I'm looking at what she's doing and comparing myself to her, or Sue Wong designing dresses, or Ricky Byers back with all of her music, if I'm comparing myself to them, but in a manner that doesn't honor that, wow, life created this in order for me to see what was possible for me, in order for me to recognize. And when they, or Lisa talked about me, or Ricky Byers Beckwith talks about me, they say things like, wow, you're doing incredible work in the world. The difference that you've made is in my life has been, and they'll lay it out. And if in my head my thoughts are judging me, comparing me, then I'm not in a loving space. And just because, from my experience, I had at one point in my story, and I didn't have the language for it at the time, been thrown out like garbage. And today I know that that was for a gift for me. I went into such a degree of service and such a degree of understanding faith based on being thrown out a little bit. I went into understanding so much about forgiveness. I took on the name Sarah. I took on the name Sarah when I was learning about forgiveness. And in my studies, I learned that all those that had been left for dead in the Holocaust, all of them they were given the name either Israel or Sarah. And I thought, wow, I want to embody that level of forgiveness in my life. And so I took on the name Sarah to embody that level of forgiveness, that level of, and it became a decision on how I was being moment to moment. I can forgive myself. I can forgive this thought. I can forgive the comparison. I can forgive that news story. I can, whatever it is that isn't in alignment with however I would like to see the reflection of reality, I can forgive based on deciding to be bigger than the story of being thrown out, bigger than the story of me having to do something. It was about being forgiveness. And so I took on the name Sarah for that purpose. And I hope that answered your question, that moment to moment awareness around your thoughts and bringing in love. And every time a memory comes up, a painful one, you embrace all of the stories that you tell yourself around it, and you allow yourself to make a decision of being bigger than the story. And the decision to be bigger than the story allows for you to grow into that bigger way of being moment to moment. So I'm going to go back to sharing the screen. Suzanne, I just love your question, and I'm so grateful you're here. So I am pressing the share screen button. I'm going to the application window. I am hitting the word, oh, I think I have to hit the PowerPoint. No, I have to hit that. And then I named Interfaith Ministry. Each religion, each faith has within it these beautiful skills, tools, gifts of forgiveness, of gifts of activating and initiating the pineal gland. Each one of them has a way to relate to thoughts, heart, and emotion, and so does science. Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. And what I love is that co-creating reality. This image right here is so particularly important and beautiful to me. Each of the angels in this, if you take a close look, there are angels. There are hundreds and hundreds of people collected, co-creating this image. This is the Lady of Guadalupe. This is a representation of Mother Mary, even her eyes. And there's extensive stories that I could tell about this, but I see this as we're co-creating reality. And Mother Mary appears in so many places, as do markings of every faith, everywhere. But little miracles show up. It, angels are everywhere and representing that we are co-creating reality together. And so we come to, there is a force in the universe, which if we permit it, will flow through us and produce miraculous results. What Mahatma Gandhi did, what he did, we can all do. What in a peaceful, non-violent way, change ourselves, be the change you wish to see in the world, be activated, transformed, and that transformation first happens in energy. Then energy gets created into a mental construction. That mental construction then goes into emotion, and emotion then goes into creating the fabric of our reality. So I'm in my beautiful office that I love and appreciate so much, but before it was an office, it was a energy. It was just a room, a space. And then my thoughts came into it. My mental thoughts said, wow, I'd love to turn this office into a space that I can be of service to on the internet, to those that I welcome into my home. This office space was a mental energy. Then energy went into motion. My husband and all of the glorious people that helped us move into this place went in and put the furniture in and put all of the items in place. And so now I have a beautiful office that I can have to do all of the work that I want to do. It was first an energy, then it went into a thought, then energy and motion. Emotion went into it. And so now I have this space. I want you to know how amazing you are and that you can take all of the energy and your energy, no one else has your energy. And if you're living in fear, if you're living in loneliness, and I was there, I was in fear. I feared so much. I'd learned to even fear my parents. I'd learned to fear um, everything actually at one point. And I internalized that fear as an eating disorder. I internalized the fear as deep, deep loneliness and deep, deep perfection. And that kept me from being able to be of service to the greatest degree. I carried a great deal of shame. I carried a great deal of guilt and grief. And today, I anything that I feel, all of it, if it starts in a space of shame or guilt or grief or desire, I raise my vibration by loving myself. I embrace the shame. And I say, of course, darling, you're feeling that. that those inner words. Fear, of course, darling, you're feeling fear around this. And I go to a space of neutrality, and that neutrality helps me be in higher and higher vibration. So my inner talk to myself, my feeling of it. Sometimes I listen to and I practice listening to music, dancing, watching a movie, meditation. I work on noticing what I'm noticing. I work on embodying the change that I wish to see in the world. If I want my husband to be at peace when his volume is up, I start with loud noises used to really bother me, honking of a car, being or experiencing a pitch in someone's voice. That sort of scenario could throw me back into fear very quickly, because when I had experienced that before, my nervous system, my body had a remembrance of that. And I didn't go through the process of really sitting with the feeling and elevating it over and over again. And the over and over again wasn't something other than meditation, listening to, I do have a meditation practice, listening to music practice, a dancing, working out practice, and I love to laugh. I love finding great, inspiring things that get me to laugh and laugh and laugh. Those are ways in which the pineal gland, which is in the top corner, out of body experiences get incorporated in my body. I bring the energy through meditation of letting go, of building a muscle around whatever thought comes in, welcome it, embrace it, love it, feel it, and let it be released. Whatever words that are showing up, whatever thoughts, whatever physical things that I'm experiencing, I notice that I'm experiencing them. And so this is a little bit of your organ system that's in your body. There's the heart, there's the brain. You have throughout your body a nervous system that either dilates or it constricts. Everything either dilates or constricts blood flow. And if we go back just a little bit to understanding that our thoughts, our heart, our emotions are preceded by an energy. My energy was preceded by the conversations, by the energy around my parents. My reality had their way of seeing the world invested in me because that happened before I had the language. My energy body entered my body. The world as we know it entered your makeup before you had language for it. And when you put language, when you feel it with your heart, when you connect with it with your emotion, and you release it in meditation on a regular practice or through working out or through joining people that are consciously elevating their energy. So when the Dalai Lama comes to town, he elevates the energy in every town. The crime rate falls. Studies have been done when we meditate on peace in a city, crime rates fall. This is shown that the energy body creates thoughts, heart, emotion. It actually functions at the DNA level. What organs, what proteins, what is being made in your body is directly connected. It's directly connected to power centers in your body. In India, in chakra systems, in Egypt, in the mystery school teachings, and in allopathic medicine, we recognize nerve bundles. We recognize that as these dilate or constrict, you have more thoughts, you have more emotions, you have more or less availability of these organs to work with you. Everything that we experience has a, just like inhale, exhale, constrict, dilate. Everything has a balance to it. The Chinese medicine talks about yin yang, 5,000-year-old philosophy, talks about the negative and the positive, the male and the female, day and night. When you understand these systems and you understand it at the level of energy, at the level of giving words to it, you empty your mind of all thoughts and you let your heart be at peace and watch the turmoil of beings, but contemplate their return. Each separate being in the universe returns to the common source. You, I, return to the common source. Returning to the source is serenity. If you don't realize the source, you stumble in confusion and sorrow. And when you realize where you come from, you naturally become tolerant, disinterested, amused, kind-hearted as a grandmother, dignified as a king. Immersed in the wonder of the Tao, and what the Tao means, wonder of the way or the being. You can deal with whatever life brings you, and when death comes, you are ready. It's amazing because I want to do a process with you that will help you be able to fully embody your heart. And we have a 10-week course coming up. And I'm going to tell you about that 10-week course at the end of this conversation so that you can be with us in community as you're raising your energy body, as you're feeling your heart, as you're learning the tools that are within your nervous system, within your sympathetic and parasympathetic systems. They're as easy, this class, this course, the 10-week course, and everything you need to know is as easy as understanding yin and yang. Understanding that for there to be a positive, there has to be a negative. For there to be a shadow, there has to be a great light. To understand how to be active in the areas that you want to be active and passive in the areas that you want to be passive. In that 10-week course, we dive into understanding how each of the organ systems work and how to cause them to dilate if they need dilation, or how to cause them to constrict if constriction is the best thing for those organs. All addiction, for example, is sexual organs for male and female at the kidney and bladder level. If you've got fear all the time, your kidneys are overactive. Your bladder is not able to hold it. If you feel forced, like you have to perform for other people, your bladder is truly affected. If you're addicted to sex, if you're addicted to things that you don't want to be addicted to, it usually comes back to being able to work and understand, dilate or constrict your sexual organs, and to make your body understand your thoughts and your energy. When you understand and deal with cosmic energy, and cosmic energy is blocked by ego attachment. And ego attachment means separate from source. You have a source that's beating your heart without any thought in it of yours. Your lungs so lovingly breathe for you without any input from, now I'm going to inhale, exhale. Now I'm going to make my heart beat. Now I'm going to push blood into my toes. It's doing it all for you. The cosmic energy, what you are in your energy body, deals with insights. What you're not is blocked by illusion. Let me say that another way. Everything you are and have available to you is within your insights. That's why aha moments are so meaningful. When you do aha, when you experience the aha, I'm gonna just share with you the pineal gland. The pineal gland is activated by with a smile on your face. It's activated by that cosmic sound, which is written about in Indian philosophy. When you make that sound and when you have that experience, you go into beautifully into dealing with insights. What you're here to do, no one else can do. When you have an aha moment, all the illusion is blocked. Your biology changes. Your throat deals with truth. Chronically, over and over again, if there is not enough truth coming from you, or if you're regurgitating over and over disbelieving things or untruths about yourself, about the environment, about what it is, so the way in the world, the Tao, over and over again, it will affect the organs that are connected to your throat chakra. Your heart. Your heart is extraordinary. What your heart can do is extraordinary. Every area of your life is affected by your ability from your heart. All your other organs, if you simply love and love yourself, love your neighbor, love what is so in the environment around you right now, you can change it. If you do not love what is in your environment right now, your heart is blocked by grief. And so much of the world that we're living in is grievous to us because so much of the love in the world has been blocked. And it's blocked either by fear. A Course in Miracles, in my course, I'm a student of the Course as well as many other scientific and ancient philosophies. I love studying. I embody that thanks to my mom and dad. I'm so grateful that I have a love of learning. I believe that we can cause there to be a great deal of change in the world by accepting it as it is now. As we're accepting it as it is now, we can raise the vibration. Grief is down here. Neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason, and love are up here. Course in Miracles says you cannot embody love and fear at the same time. What that means is if you're having a moment of fear, love that too. And allow it to elevate in a childlike manner with willingness and acceptance into love, playfully, gratefully. I could go on and on about love. I'm a little bit addicted to love and service. This is one of my greatest joys, to talk on and on of what you can do with love and what you can do with willingness. And willingness is willpower. It's blocked by shame. And so many subtle ways shame shows up in the world. Very, very subtle. I grew up with the philosophy that you don't ever go anywhere empty-handed. So anywhere that my parents went, anywhere that we went, any house that we entered, we came bearing physical presents and gifts. And so if I didn't have a gift to give you, physical, I used to feel shame around it. I might not show up unless I could bring you flowers. And I didn't realize at the time that that philosophy was blocking some of my self-love, some of my willpower. When I embodied, you are the gift. When I told myself, oh my gosh, but you just show up. Just show up. You're the gift. When I really truly embodied that for myself, my willpower in so many areas shifted. My ability to love and give and create exceeded what I thought was even possible. Miracles appeared. A story that I have with my sister that is very dear to me. My she and I were put in a home to help us. It was like an abused children's home at one point in our lives. She and I both were pulled out, and we, within 24 hours, our neighbors, our friends from school came and got us. And these friends from school were extraordinary. The friendship was so extraordinary. We wanted to give them gifts, and she and I, walking down the street, they lived close to the school that we went to, and so we were walking home from the school that we went to our neighbor's house. And as we were walking, we were talking about, God, we'd love to just bring them a gift. And so out of thin air, $20 bills, money was floating in the air. And she and I, probably 14, 13, were collecting these dollar bills. And we gave a stack of money to our neighbor. We showed up at their house and gave them a stack of money that had appeared for us out of thin air. And the two of us are so magical together. If you get an opportunity to have a baby delivered by her or be examined by her, if you're in Florida, she is a licensed physician in Florida with the greatest heart and makes miracles. Together, we were walking down that street and we made miracles. We allowed the force in the universe to flow through us and produce what we wanted to give this family. There is, again, pleasure going back into your nervous system, going back into your chakra system. She and I, through our pleasure, through our heart, through our love, through our willpower, we brought in all of this money to be able to give as a gift. We, walking down the street, weren't feeling shame about our desire. We weren't feeling guilt. We weren't feeling grief. We had been pulled out of a really harsh situation at the time and brought to neutrality. We were brought to willingness and acceptance and reason and love. And we were feeling great joy at imagining giving them money. And so we brought together our vibration up to love and joy. And so out of thin air, as children, we created the result. We matched the frequency. And this is where I am realistic. I expect miracles. It was my dad that introduced me to Wayne Dyer. My beautiful dad brought Wayne Dyer's wisdom into my world to begin embodying forgiveness and love and the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi through the work of Wayne Dyer. Even before Wayne Dyer, I knew St. Francis's prayer, but I understood how to apply it because I understood Wayne Dyer's teachings. I understood what he was sharing and what he was bringing to the world. I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word in reality. That is why the right temporary defeat is stronger than evil triumphant. And I define evil as anything that constricts possibility of the greatest good being done for those that are embodying ancient living wisdom. And you, my darling, you are living your ancient living wisdom. You have within yourself every tool that's ever been created in the universe. We are understanding that what happens in the cosmos happens in us. When there's a full moon, hospital rooms get filled up. The planetary alignment affects our thoughts, our heart, our emotion, our DNA. It affects our energy body. Understanding how to be, how to truly, truly be with what's happening out in the cosmos, as well as understanding what happens within your body, is transforming your energy body for success. Your energy body does it automatically. It is regulated by what you think. It is regulated by the cosmos. So is above, so is below, is one of those ancient principles that we dive into the course quite extensively. Before we leave and start doing readings, I do want to do a pineal gland activation for you. The pineal gland is a gland in the center of your brain. It's in the center, and many correlate, connect ancient living wisdom and current day science explores this so beautifully. It was Wayne Dyer's teachings that taught me a meditation called the meditation. The meditation, simply saying And if you're willing to receive this energy transmission, all you have to do is uncross your legs, uncross your arms, allow yourself to place your hands on your heart, put a smile on your face, and because we're doing this with the group on this webinar, this energy will transmit to you in a more powerful way. Eckhart Tolle's teachings talks about bringing one log to a fire only helps it burn so brightly. Bringing many logs to a fire helps it become alive, the brightest fire. And so each of you in that metaphor is a log. Each person that's part of the mastermind is a log. And together the fire, the activation, the transmission, the initiation, the understanding occurs on the energy level, which shifts the thoughts, the heart, the emotion, the DNA. So if you're willing, simply where you are, your feet are uncrossed, your hands are on your heart, the smile is on your face, and we're breathing in, and we're saying, ah, and we're breathing into that ah into our body. We will do that again 2 more times. One audibly, one where you can hear, and then one I want you to do with your internal self. So we did that out loud, the first one. We'll do a second one out loud, and then we'll do a third one, just you with yourself. That is the principle of the yin and the yang, doing it outwardly, then doing it internally. Being willing to receive this is the greatest gift you can give yourself in this moment. Whether you believe or don't believe, doesn't matter. Your energy body will do it for you. So take a deep breath, and we'll do the second one here. Ah. And the third one, go ahead and close your eyes if they're not already closed. And do it at your own pace. And so we'll give you a few seconds to do this. And I myself will do this and transmit this through my energy body, through the cosmic field, to you and connect us all. Remember to do that throughout your body. Remember to do that throughout your day. Especially remember to do that if you want insights. If you're with someone and they're of a different mindset, simply breathing in, sort of like a yawn, you can open that up for yourself. And then you can do it again silently without anyone else hearing you doing it. And you can have insights into that situation. If there is something of illusion there, you will be able to see through it the more and more you do it. And actually 40% of us, 40% have a blocked pineal gland by the age of 17. This is what we're seeing. This is what the latest research show. And so one of the first things that we do in Transform Your Energy Body for Success in the Mastermind is really activate, initiate, connect with that part of yourself. I am just so utterly grateful that we were able to do this here together. And just to run through this, we just did a pineal gland activation. We talked about your energy body, creating thoughts, heart, emotion, the physical result out into the body. We talked about the cosmic forces in the universe flowing through you, producing miraculous results. We talked about your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, and we talked about balancing energy. We also mentioned a lot about my mom and dad, Mother Mary. We talked about Einstein. And what I live to embody is the comedic Einstein, Mother Mary, energy body. That's what I live to embody. And here, to be that ordained interfaith minister that allows your faith, your ability to create miracles in the universe